All right, Algebra 1, Lesson 1.6, Compound Inequalities. Yes, I'm in a car. Your objective. Students will be able to write and solve compound inequalities. Make sure you write the objective in your notes where it says objective. And try to write it in your own words. If not, that's okay. It's pretty short.
What is a compound inequality? Well, from before, when we just talked about inequalities, and inequality was something very simple. That just to illustrate, it'd be x is less than 5. So I'd draw a closed dot and an arrow down this way. Compound inequality usually indicates a combined range. So I would have like -3 is less than x, which is less than 7. So I have an open circle, a line, and an open circle down at -3. So open circle at 7, open circle at -3, and a line in between because my answer is in between. Sometimes I would get, and this is an and, right? X is between -3 and 7. Sometimes I'll get x is less than 0 or x is greater than 3, which would mean I have an open dot and an arrow to the left and an open dot and an arrow to the right, meaning that the solution falls either in this range here or this range here. Let's take a look and see what it looks like in practice. So here's an OR compound inequality. So we're going to solve this one and this one separately. So the first thing we'll do is we'll solve the one on the left, got my line, and I want to isolate this x, so I subtract 2 from both sides of my inequality. I get -9, -3x. I'm going to divide both sides by -3. Cancel that, and I get x is less than, right? Because remember, I have to switch the sign because I divided by negative. X is less than 3. Or, first I distribute. So I get 2x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 6. I add 4 to both sides. And I get 2x is greater than or equal to 10. I divide both sides by 2. X is greater than or equal to 5. So I have x is less than 3. So because it's less than, I have an open circle and an arrow going to the left. X is greater than or equal to 5. I have a closed circle, closed dot, and then I go to the right. Here we have an and compound inequality. We're going to do the same thing. We'll solve the inequality on the left, and then we'll solve the inequality on the right. So I'm going to distribute. -2x minus 2 is less than 4. Then I'm going to isolate the variable, get it alone. So I remove things. My cat's going bonkers. Sorry if it's distracting. Divide both sides by -2. I get x is less than, or excuse me. Ooh, I caught it that time. Is greater than -3 because remember I had to switch because I divided by negative. And let's isolate the variable on the inequality on the right-hand side. So x is less than or equal to 1/2. So 1/2 is about right here. So I have a closed dot. And then -3, I have an open dot. If x is greater than, I have an arrow going to the right. But over here at x is less than 1/2, I have an arrow going to the left. And so this left arrow has to stop at the dot, and the arrow going from the right from the open dot has to stop at 1/2. We can also write this as -3 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 1/2. So here is an and inequality, but it's written as with the variable x in the middle. So what we need to do is get the x alone and get it in the center between the two inequalities. So I'll show you how we solve this without separating them out. I'm going to subtract 9 from each side or each section where the inequality is. So I cancel it in the middle. Now here I have -12 minus 9 is -21. It's less than or equal to 7x, which is less than 7. Okay. Now I divide each section that's separated by an inequality by 7. So 7 divided by 7, I just get x. It's less than 7 divided by 7, I get 1. -21 divided by 7 is -3. Now remember, I divided by a positive number. So this inequality stays the same, okay? So I have a closed dot at -3 and an open circle, open dot at +1, and the line joins them. Nadine plans to ride her bike between 12 miles and 15 miles. Write and solve an inequality to model how many hours Nadine will be riding. Something to point out here, they're assuming she's going to be riding 10 miles an hour. Okay. So she's going to be going 10 miles per hour, and we don't know how many hours, so when we don't know the amount, we use a variable. She's going to go between 15 miles and 12 miles. So we're going to divide each side by 10. This is a simple one. And so I get 12 over 10. If I reduce, that is 6 over 5. And this is 3 over 2. Let's write this as a mixed number. So I get 1 1/5 is less than x hours, which is less than 1 1/2. So she's going to be riding between 1 1/2 hours and 1 1/5 hours. That's not a big gap. Let's expand this. So here we're at 1 and 2. So she's going to be here at 1 1/2 and then 1 1/5. She's going to be riding somewhere in there. Okay. Recap. So compound inequality uses and, or it uses the word or. Okay. To show or would be my ranges fall outside, right? A certain area. And means my ranges fall inside a certain set or range, okay? And so it's really just about, oh, and the other thing is when you have an and that is, wrong button. 3x minus 1 is less than or equal to 2, or 12. When you have something set up like this, if I'm trying to isolate the x in the middle, whenever I add one to get rid of something here, I have to add it to all 3 sections, okay? So that's something to remember. It's important. Just don't lose track of that. Your assignment is on page 41 and 42. You're going to do numbers 11 through 14, 15 through 29, 30, and 32. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Take care.